Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive and honestly often misunderstood paradigm shift happening right now in the modern workplace. We're talking about artificial intelligence. But look, we're not looking at it as some job replacement tool or just another piece of basic automation software. No, we're exploring how AI is fundamentally transforming human resources by taking on a totally unexpected role, the ethical project manager. We're going to break down exactly how this works, using clear, structured frameworks directly from the latest source material on responsible HR management. We'll see how algorithms might actually just be the key to better, truly human-centric outcomes. Let's dive in. Can algorithms actually make HR more human? I know. It sounds like a total oxymoron, doesn't it? But this is the core irony we're unraveling today. There's this super common anxiety out there. And hey, you've probably thought about it yourself, that bringing AI into human resources is going to strip away the human element, literally reducing people to just data points on a giant spreadsheet. But you know what? The research we're unpacking today suggests the exact opposite. When it's applied correctly, AI doesn't remove humanity, it actually acts as a guardian for it. It forces organizations to operationalize fairness, transparency, and accountability in ways that were, quite frankly, just impossible to scale before. Think about how things used to be. Historically, traditional HR processes have been, deeply vulnerable. They carry these inherent risks of human bias, potential privacy breaches, and they often lead to incredibly opaque decision-making. I mean, have you ever wondered exactly how a promotion was decided or why a specific candidate got hired over someone else? In traditional systems, that why is usually hidden behind closed doors. AI-driven HR completely flips the script by establishing true structural integrity. We're moving away from a system that just crosses its fingers and hopes for the best to a system that structurally enforces fairness through organized checkpoints, rigorous data privacy safeguards, and totally explainable outputs. So it really isn't just about moving faster anymore. It's about making better, far more responsible decisions. To understand how this actually plays out in practice, we have to look at what the source material calls the safeguard stage. Basically, this is a specific phase in the employee lifecycle where fairness, transparency, and accountability are literally hardwired into every single initiative. They're not just corporate buzzwords or reactive afterthoughts anymore. Think about how compliance or fairness has usually been handled, right? A problem pops up and then HR scrambles to fix it. Well, the safeguard stage flips that entirely. It makes proactive integrity a built-in structural checkpoint. It ensures that whenever a new technology or process is introduced, it actively enhances HR practices without ever compromising trust. So, how do we put this into practical everyday application? It really comes down to three foundational checkpoints of ethical AI governance. Step one, you've got to train the algorithms on fair policies. And AI is literally only as good as what you teach it, so those initial policies have to clearly define the rules of fairness right from day one. Step two, monitor continuously. You can't just turn the AI on, dust off your hands, and walk away. It requires constant observation and tuning. And then step three, audit to prevent bias. This is your crucial safety net. By routinely auditing the system, organizations can catch and correct any algorithmic drift before it actually impacts real people. This continuous three-step loop is exactly how AI is rigorously managed to stop bias in its tracks, especially in critical areas like recruitment and promotions. What's really fascinating here is mapping the specific tech directly to real human outcomes. Let's look at bias detection systems, for example. What do they actually do? Well, they continuously evaluate recruitment and promotion decisions to make sure an organization's diversity and inclusion goals are actually being met with hard data, not just good intentions, or take encryption and anomaly detection. These are your heavy-duty data privacy safeguards. The outcome here? Protecting incredibly sensitive employee information across their entire life cycle at the company. So you see, the technology isn't just some administrative tool. It acts as an active, round-the-clock guardian for both diversity and privacy. Now, of course, absolutely none of this works if the humans in the loop don't actually understand what the machine is doing, right? And that brings us to a massively important concept, explainable AI. You see, the biggest fear people have with algorithms is that black box effect. Data goes in, a decision pops out, and nobody has a clue what happened in the middle. Well, explainable AI completely removes that fear. It uses transparent decision frameworks that provide incredibly clear outputs. This means that when an AI system suggests a candidate for a job or maybe flags a weird compensation discrepancy, it also tells you the why.
HR leaders are never just flying blind. They always understand the precise reasoning behind an algorithmic recommendation. It's the perfect way to combine the raw processing power of a machine with the nuanced contextual judgment of a human.
And hey, this integration doesn't just stop at hiring. AI also functions as a super seamless engine for compliance automation, covering critical, high-stakes areas like adherence to labor laws, recruitment, compensation, and exit management. Think about it. Every single time an employee faces a major transition, whether they're just joining the company, finally getting that raise, or moving on to a new opportunity, there is a massive web of legal requirements that have to be followed. AI basically automates this compliance across the board. It makes sure that standard operating procedures aren't just polite suggestions, but are rigidly and fairly applied to every single employee. It virtually eliminates the risk of human oversight in these deeply critical areas. So the million-dollar question is, with all of these advanced systems in place, how do we actually know if it's working for the workforce? Well, that's where this next concept comes in, measuring employee trust analytics. Because let's be real, you can have the most advanced, perfectly unbiased AI in the entire world, but if your employees don't trust it, the whole thing fails. Trust analytics allow organizations to actively measure the workforce's confidence in these AI systems. It's an absolutely essential feedback loop. By measuring this trust, HR departments can constantly refine their practices. They can see exactly where employees feel comfortable and where they might feel a little apprehensive, which lets the organization adjust and continuously strengthen its credibility over time. All of this brings us right to the central thesis of our explainer today. Experts summarize it beautifully like this. AI acts as the ethical project manager of HR, ensuring that efficiency and innovation are balanced with fairness and responsibility. And honestly, that perfectly encapsulates the expert consensus we've been unpacking. We really have to stop viewing AI as just some mundane piece of software that processes payroll or sorts through a stack of resumes. It is a strategic project manager. Its core job is to stand right there at the intersection of business efficiency and human fairness, making sure that one never ever comes at the expense of the other. So, to summarize our journey today, treating AI as an ethical project manager achieves three really massive organizational shifts. First off, it delivers transparency. Through explainable AI and those clear frameworks we talked about, the whole black box is shattered. Second, it ensures accountability. Thanks to continuous auditing and compliance automation, the rules are applied evenly and fairly to everyone. And third, it builds trust across the entire lifecycle. By taking fair practices out of the realm of an afterthought and treating them as a core strategic project, organizations can transform basic, bare minimum compliance into a deep, structural culture of credibility and balanced innovation. And all of this leaves us with a pretty critical, maybe even slightly provocative question to consider today. If AI really is the new ethical project manager, are we actually ready to trust algorithms more than human intuition? We've seen today how human intuition, while obviously incredibly valuable, carries these inherent risks of bias and opaque decision-making. But we've also seen how a structured AI can enforce fairness and accountability in ways that humans just simply cannot scale. So as we look to the future of work, the challenge isn't just about plugging in the technology, it's about a fundamental cultural shift in how we define trust. Are we ready to lean into the safeguard stage? It's a fascinating question to chew on as you navigate the modern landscape of business. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope these frameworks have given you a powerful new lens to view the future of HR. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.